And here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and we got a doozy of a topic tonight. I've been sitting on this one. It's been bugging me, and I thought, you know who I'm going to have the best conversation with about this? My man, Jody. What's up, Jody?
YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Jody Joe. Welcome to Change My Mind on this Tuesday. What's up, everybody?
So happy to have you. So there's been a lot of stuff happening. Obviously, we've been some seriously emotional stuff's been happening. We had some serious chats. And now what's happening is there's some social media justice happening, as I guess you'll call it. There are people out there right now, Jody. We didn't even talk about this yet. There are people. There's a one particular woman. I'm not going to call her out by name, but she's going out on Twitter and finding any person, whether they're in high school, college, if they've said anything racist in their past, she's dredging it up, she's poking it, and she's telling the school boards to get these people kicked out of school. It's getting to a point where it's just like, damn, everything is getting exposed. If you've ever done a bad tweet, a racist tweet, anything, people are out there digging deep to find people and to alert the public. And look, this is my problem with it. It's like, I want to base this sort of on the three main stories that I've seen in the news recently. Sawyer Hartley, who was elongated man in The Flash, Ralph Dibny, who I watched on the show. I was a big fan of him and the character on the show. He was recently fired from The Flash due to tweets that resurfaced. Not resurfaced, but old tweets from about 8 to 10 years ago. So not like super long. Like he was in his 20s. This wasn't like him as a dumb teenager. Like he was an adult and he still was saying some stupid stuff. But they're strange. We'll get to him in a second. Jody just refreshed himself with there. He's our first topic. And then there's Mark Wahlberg, who was also recently getting a lot of flack for basically saying, positive support for Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, while a lot of people sort of came out of it and be like, what? You don't have any basis to talk about this because you've been, he was in prison for hate crimes back when he was a teenager in Boston, which a lot of people are now bringing to light. And then beyond that, there was Jimmy Fallon, who recently was in a Saturday Night Live sketch from 2000 where he was playing Chris Rock and he had full blackface on Saturday Night Live. So look, I feel like these three examples, Jody, are three good ones to sort of let's go through them case by case to sort of talk about this bigger issue of like, what do we do when celebrities when we come forward with something from a celebrity's past that we're not comfortable with, or should we just cancel any racism we see at all at any point in their careers? I'm curious. That's sort of tonight's topic. There's plenty there to talk about, and I know this will get, this will be an interesting topic. But before we go to case by case, Jody, I'd love to get your thoughts just overall. Have you been noticing this? Do you have any strong feelings on this? Go ahead and let's hear your thoughts first.
I noticed that a lot of people's skeletons come out the closet, and it doesn't look good for their image. And I understand that this is 2020, and a lot of things about people's past gets dug up. But I believe that people grow. Stuff that comes out in the past that comes out 6, 7, 8, 9 years later. I would even say 5 years. People could grow a lot in 5 years. So I don't necessarily. I'm both ways with it. I could see how you should get canceled, and I could also see how you should not. It depends on what was said, what was the context, and then the character themselves.
Yeah, fair. I mean, each of these instances will clearly depend on, what was said. Like, I think it's a case by case to say whether someone should be fired, etc. I don't believe in cancellation. I think the term is that's a slippery slope for me of just like, was Harvey Weinstein canceled? No, he was tried and did crimes and he lost. And that's to me how you should do it. But can a business like WB fire Hartley Sawyer? Yes, they have every right to do that. That's sort of the difference here. Freedom of speech is absolutely real, but there's you have to deal with the outcomes of what happens when you say that to a certain company that you work for. So look, it's a complicated. I don't believe in cancellation, but I think in some of these cases we do need to address: did they take accountability? Have they shown growth? Are they making changes? And that's really, for me, what sort of deems the next step, not whether or not they should be canceled. So the title is a little bit clicky because I don't actually believe in anybody ever getting canceled, just because I think that's not. I think education and that kind of stuff is way more important. If you just cancel someone, I can tell you from experience, when you just shove someone out and tell them to go be on an island by themselves and don't give them any sort of information on how to learn or what they did wrong and sort of stew, it makes them more angry. It doesn't help.
Depends on what is canceled. What's the definition of canceled to you?
Well,
I think that.
Yeah, good. Go ahead. What's your definition?
Well, I think canceled is the end result. It's the end result of someone's wrongdoing. You know, if someone f's up, and depending on the degree, I do believe people should be canceled. Depends on what you think canceled is about, being out of the limelight, shunned, out of the forefront of what they used to be in, and it depends on what they do. I do believe that cancel should happen to certain people.
Yeah, so I don't disagree with the actions you said. I think for me, though, canceled is sort of just like scorched earth, get out of society. We are canceling you. You are useless to us. We don't want you anywhere. That there's a very specific definition there for me of just like, yes, if someone did wrong, they need to take accountability, or they need to be arrested, or they need to be tried, right? There's due process. There's a lot of things that need to happen to make sure that person can explain themselves. We can share both sides. But, you know, in an instance of Harvey Weinstein, sure, he was canceled. People, you know, called him out and said, we don't want you in this business. And then, you know, he rightfully was pushed out and tried and proven guilty. So that's what I mean. But for someone like Hartley Sawyer, for example, for him to never be able to work again, for his complete livelihood to be gone because someone pulled out, you know, really bad jokes and inappropriate comments from 8 years ago, I don't, you know, cancellation to me seems to be too heavy of a punishment for what he did. And so that's where it's like, it's a fine line for me. It's specific of when I say cancel, it means like, yeah, get out of society, get out of here. You're no good. And that's what I mean by that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So let's go to specifics though. Let's because there's so many broad topics, and I think this is a hard topic to just say, yeah, no, everyone should get a second chance. Obviously, it depends on what you did. Everybody needs to and everyone has the right to be emotionally upset or block or mute or not engage with or watch some person's content if they do something that upsets you. That's the choice. But should they have been fired? Should there be bigger repercussions? Those are sort of the questions I want to ask as we go through these. So let's go with Sawyer. So Hartley Sawyer, I did a video today. Hopefully some of you saw it. Thanks for those of you who did. But this was an instance where he was a cast member of The Flash, and the tweet surfaced. This happened on the 30th of May. He apologized, and now it's the 9th. I guess it was yesterday. CW made a statement, and they fired him. He's no longer involved in the show, and that's obviously not. He's not going to be there anymore. So let's go through sort of what you went through some of these tweets. I was trying to find them. People are sort of trying to get rid of them. Look, there may be more that I don't know, and if anybody has one online, they want to sort of suggest. But so here are some of the ones that I saw that we can sort of go through. Where to go? Here we go. As a lad, one of my favorite activities was kidnapping homeless women and cutting off their breasts. Okay, that's not appropriate.
That'll get you effed up, bro.
That's not okay. That's not okay for a Flash family star to be saying. You know, Now at the same time, do I think he's trying to be like edgy with some weird edgy humor? Yes, I think with all of that, that's what's happening here. But I can tell you right at the gate, with that first one I've seen, that was not a good look. That was not okay to say out loud. If you want to say that stuff, you're not going to be able to be allowed to be on CW on The Flash. Are we on the same page there, Jody?
Yes, I'm on the same page. That's trouble.
That is trouble. All right, hold on. Making sure your camera just messed up. Hold on. Let me just make sure I got you situated. There we go. That's not a good look for anybody on the CBS family programming to be talking about killing homeless women. So whether he meant it as a joke or not, which is what he says these are, that's weird. Out of a dinner and just expose myself as a racist again. Now, I don't see that tweet as racist. I don't know what the context of that means. I've been at dinners where I felt like I've had my foot in my mouth, or like, oh, wait, I didn't mean it to come out that way. So that tweet doesn't bother me. Jody, do you have a problem with that tweet? I've seen a lot of people like, oh, he's admitting he's racist. I don't get that one.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that tweet based on the other tweet that follows those tweets.
Okay, fair. So you're in the context of it all. You're doing. The only thing stopping me from doing mildly racist tweets is the knowledge that Al Sharpton would never stop complaining about me. Jody. So why? I mean, again, that's clearly a joke. It's clearly a joke. It's an insensitive joke. You tell a lot of insensitive jokes. Do you really think that's hurtful?
No. If you combine this with that previous tweet, I feel like he's a man who's admitting that he's somewhat racist, and he's afraid to fully show it to the world because he'll get persecuted by Al Sharpton. You know,
I don't see
it. It's funny,
but see, you're laughing. That's my point. Like, I don't see that. I think this guy is just a bad comedian who's trying to get by poking the bad.
He's admitting that he's admitting the tweets are mildly racist, though. He said mildly racist tweets. He would put out mildly racist tweets, but Al Sharpton's coming. Then the other tweet was like, "Oh dang, I got exposed for being a rapist today," which means
racist.
maybe probably he was in a public.
Wasn't a
my bad, a racist.
Yeah, different. Both bad things.
No, he makes rape jokes too. There's tweets about rape.
They're coming to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he says I was exposed as a racist today, which I take as he was in a public place or a private setting. They had a conversation. He said something, and someone called him a racist, and he's probably telling that story. Probably.
So let's keep going. We'll put them all in context. The saddest part about someone committing suicide is that they will never listen to David Bowie again. Again, not offensive to me. I'm sure it's going to be offensive to someone who's been that, but that is a bad It's just a bad joke. It's not funny.
Bad joke.
Date rape myself so I don't have to masturbate. Jody, you
bad
laughing?
Joke.
Are you laughing?
Bad joke.
Jody doesn't want to laugh at some of these. Let's be honest. I'm watching to see if
I'm
he laughs.
laughing at how whack it is.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
That's whack.
I'm laughing at the stupidity of like, what? That's not funny. This was 2012. So these are 2012 guys. Okay. But again, like that one, I'm not offended by it. It's just a bad look. You know what I mean? Like, are you offended by any of these?
Here's what got him in trouble. Oh, are we going to get to the ones that
okay, let's keep going. Super Bowl America, 80, I'm just saying, setting up so far. Super Bowl America, right. 80% of the prison population is African American. Thoughts on that, Jody? Why is that relevant?
He's shedding light on the negative look on black people with using facts. Right? Because I think those were actually correct.
I don't even know if that's true. I mean, yeah, I know it's not a good percentage.
I definitely believe it. I believe that it's 80%.
But yeah, what's the why? He's pointing it out almost on a point to make to like, yeah, see all the football players, they're also all prisoners.
That's like me saying right now, the Holocaust happened, baby. The Holocaust happened. Nigga, what you saying that for? Hey.
We're watching the Super Bowl. Why are we talking about that exactly?
What is that?
There's Jewish players too, I guess. Yeah, so you could make that joke in a party, and people would look at you and not like you. Here we go. I think I could work in a tit factory and be pretty happy.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll take that, but that's a stupid statement.
Joey's like, I'm good with that one.
That's common sense.
I mean, like that's just Howard's. That is locker room talk right there. That is what our president was allowed to apparently do. His was far worse, but that is locker room talk. So it's like,
can I say one?
I guess we're not getting monetized, so hopefully we'll get some support tonight. Go ahead, Jody.
He said, dozing off on my couch like a child molester.
I don't even get that one. So I think I have it up.
That's why I'm thinking these are statements, bro.
Yeah, what is it? What does that one even mean? Like he's passed out on his couch like a child molester. Brother is what it says, right?
Yeah.
My brother. I cannot understand. What does it even mean?
Is he trying to call his brother a child molester? Is he trying to call...
They're really bad tweets. They're so stupid. Enjoyed a secret boob viewing at an audition today.
That's dark.
So, but see, like it's all the reader, right? Because that could be consensual or that could not be, right? It's saying secret, but he could have been with his girlfriend and she showed up and flashed him, right? It's all in like your input is making it malicious or not. But I would agree a secret boob viewing reads dark, right?
What do you think that means?
I think it means he like saw a boob he wasn't supposed to see.
I think it means he had an audition and he told her to take her shirt off for a nude scene.
Oh, see, I didn't even go that dark. See, you went way darker than I went.
That's what I went. What I went. Yeah, the role requires topless. So can you please take your top off and give me the lines?
Well, that would be very dark then. Yeah, but see, I didn't. Again, the context of these things matter, and I didn't get that one.
Yeah. My mind is a sewer.
Jesus. Did you see any other ones? There's a bunch.
Yes. I'm gonna hit the. Here's when they got him in trouble. I know got him in trouble. If I had a wife.
Oh yes, thank you.
I would beat the hell out of her right now. LOL.
Hilarious. Bro. Hilarious stuff.
You're done.
At that moment,
now was another one. Is like, hey.
There was another one where he said, I'm outside the 7-Eleven where I abused my ex-girlfriend. It was another one.
Yes.
I can't find it. I think they're in here. But yeah, dude, it's Stephen Hanks. Just kidding. I don't care. And FAGS are fine, but sports often makes me snore. So he's using FAGS.
Here's another one.
Go ahead.
Things only women should be in: Twilight screenings, gynecologist offices, and Porsches. That got him effed up too.
That's another bad joke.
That's just sexist, terrible, misogynistic remark.
It's just saying, girl, Porsches for girly people. Yeah.
No, he says things women should gynecologists off. Bro,
That's
terrible.
where women go to the gynecologist. It's a bad joke. Of course, it's a women doctor, dude.
Women are only good for getting.
No,
pregnant.
it didn't say women are most seen at. He said Twilight movies, which is known for women, gynecologist office, which is known for women, and then he made a joke about Porsches.
He says things only women should be in.
Oh, I didn't read the should. It says should.
No, things only women should be in.
See, I read that as like men shouldn't be there. That's how I read it. Like these are things that men shouldn't be in. Porsches, Twilight movies, and gynecologists. That's how I see. But that's how it depends how one reads it. I'm curious, you guys.
I go to the freaking. I used to go with my girl all the time when she get her checkups and shit at the OBGYN.
Okay, well, that's
especially after.
But you're not going more. But that's not everyone, right? It's the point is a majority. Let's not argue on do more men or women go to the gynecologist. I think it's fair to say more women go, Jody.
I think that anybody who's having a child with a woman should be going to the gynecologist as well. Men, step your game up.
Yeah, but if the woman wants you
women
to,
should be in Twilight.
If the woman wants you to, you shouldn't be showing up like, who was the guy who's like, I go to all my daughter's appointments to make sure she's okay? That was creepy, dude.
In what world would the mother of your child not want you to go to the doctor's appointments?
No, I'm saying there was one where the dad was following his daughter to her appointments. That was effed up. It was some rapper or somebody. He got
totally different. That was T.I. That's totally different.
T.I. I wasn't. I'm not okay with that.
Andy, if your wife is pregnant, bro, you're going to the freaking gynecologist with her.
Sure, but on our regular appointments, that's her business. Not if she wants me there.
She gonna get mad as shit at you. She gonna be uppercutting you every time you miss an appointment.
Dude, my girl does not want me to go to her gynecologist, Jody. That's cool if yours does, but I assure you, mine doesn't. Mine does not want to have me see what goes on in those offices. They want to keep that private. Anyway, let's not expose what our girlfriends
black
do.
Women get mad as shit when you don't go.
All right. So what was I saying here? Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, I think we're getting the sense of it. When
I find my daughter, I'm going to beat her for having all these man clothes.
What does that even mean? He's like seeing women with man clothes and complaining.
I'm gonna beat my daughter for dressing up like a stud.
Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, obviously we shouldn't be that's why I guess the assault ones bother me the most. Do you see the one where he's talking about I'm so black because my skin doesn't burn or like the sun? It was a Kanye line, I think, or something that also was being shared. But now, yeah, the two abuse ones, the three abuse ones, to me were the worst ones. So all of these were sent in 2012, and I do think all of them were said under the context of trying to be funny, but weren't.
Did you mention one that was did you mention that was homophobic?
I didn't see one. I said the one that FAGS. He said that about sports or something. Oh. Is there another one you saw there?
No, I was curious. He said, what did he say again about sports? Can you read that one again?
Hold on. I don't have it in front of me. It was, sorry, I'll find it. I'll try.
Anything you talk about gay people, bro, you're out of there.
Yeah, well, he said FAGS. Cigarettes.
You probably pissed off 80%
he said
of Hollywood.
In a derogatory way, yeah. I can't find it right now, but he said it's something about sports, and then that is a term that was used a lot, thrown around a lot, and now you can't use that word. It is, it is what it is. That'll
get them canceled off top.
But that clearly doesn't work. So now we all get a sense of what happened. But yeah, I see in the comments, James Gunn's were way worse. James Gunn's tweets were way worse, Jody. Amber Heard is on audio admitting to physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra Miller decked that girl. I'm still waiting to hear what happened, but we at least see her. So I'm confused. I'm not saying
James Gunn got fired from Guardians 3.
Fair, and then he came back
later. He got penalized for it.
So maybe he's trying to go down the James Gunn school. Fair, and he's trying to take accountability. He's going to apologize, and maybe he can earn his way back in. James Gunn sort of proved it. What was different for James Gunn is all of his castmates came forward and had his back. They're like, look, we know he did this. We knew this was the type of person he was. He has not been that way at all around us. We support him. We're not coming back unless he's there. Like, that's how you do it, right? What's telling, though, most of the Flash cast members are being quiet. Grant Gustin has made a comment sort of echoing what the their showrunner said. I'm horrified. I had it here. I'm horrified by it all. But I mean, the fact that his friends aren't coming to sort of defend him, that's pretty telling. No, Jody?
Maybe he just doesn't have friends, bro.
Sure.
Maybe he doesn't have friends in the business that are.
I mean,
that
I
could
didn't
speak up, that have a voice.
It doesn't mean he's guilty. It's true because I didn't.
Doesn't mean
I didn't
he's
have
guilty.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't have the friends coming forward. But yeah, he said.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah, I'm stunned. I don't have much more to add here. I'm sorry, you guys can see this. This is from Grant Gustin. I don't have much to say. I will say I was shocked, saddened, and angry when I saw the tweets. Words matter. I mean, look, he's there. I do wish some of these people would have had the guts to be like, I know him. He's not like this way. I don't like reading these tweets. I condemn these words, but that's not the person I know. There are ways you can handle it that I didn't see anyone from the cast doing. He's had a couple actors. I did see an actress. There have been a couple people stepping up to defend him as his character and as a person. And it's still new, so we may see more. But Jody, all of this said, I don't have a problem, as I said in my video, I don't have a problem with him being fired. I mean, I sort of do. Because my only problem with him being fired is what are the rules? When is it? What are our lines now? Like Amber Heard, Ezra Miller. Is it only just now, honestly, are white guys now, if they say something wrong, they're gone, but then if it's a woman or Ezra, who right, isn't he, he's gay. He's gay, right? Does that mean, we have to be more careful and not, we have to take that more seriously? I don't think that's fair.
You know the answer to your own question. I was going to hit you with it, but you already know. James Gunn was fired. Amber Heard is protected because she's a woman, and she's, I'm adorable and cute. Oh, I'm the man. And Ezra Miller's gay. Those are all shields of protection, brother. And this man is on CW. CW is a gay network, bro. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just calling a spade a spade. CW is extremely gay.
Well, it's progressive. Let's use the right word. It's a progressive network, right? Where they're you could use the word woke. There's
agenda.
Yeah, it's woke is what I think the buzzword.
It's beyond that. No, woke is cool too. I'm cool with woke. I'm cool with progressive. And then there's the CW. The CW is, that's a good character, but could we make him gay? Why? Yay! Got to show love. Okay, fine. What about this character? You know what would make that character better? If he had a boyfriend. That's the CW. And if he said homophobic remarks working on CW, you're out of there, Jack. CW ain't having that shit.
Well, and it's crazy because I don't know why we're being so silent. I mean, I guess with like Amber Heard, I don't know what we're waiting on. There's evidence. At the same time, I know they're doing a case, right? So they may be just waiting for the case to sort of resolve itself before they make comment, is the only sort of attempt to try and defend it I can. But I'm sorry. It feels like if they're going to be this quick to get rid of now, Hartley, they should be doing it with Ezra and Amber. Now, to be honest, that's my thing. Should we be getting rid of all three of these people because of things they said? Jody, should Hartley be fired? Or should Hartley be like, look, we've spoken to him. He's taking a pause from this season. We're going to reevaluate in 6 months to see, like, do you literally just they did. They canceled this guy. He's fired. He's not coming back. This guy's probably not going to work again. He's done. He's toast for these tweets. I mean, would you have fired him?
No, I'm cool with him staying. I'm cool with him keeping his job, bro. Just as long as you do that, do the PR. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Register to a class and then never speak like that again. That's all. That's I wouldn't fire him personally. But, I know you don't believe in cancel. I would like to cancel Amber Heard beneath the ground. Amber Heard needs to be what you fear canceled. She needs to be canceled with a capital C, all caps. So Amber Heard is one person that I hope, not only does she need to be canceled, I almost pray she gets canceled, bro. She deserves a jail cell.
Right. Well, that to me is the proper cancellation. Is exactly she needs to be charged.
She needs to be canceled and then a jail cell.
Look, I don't like what she did. I don't like what she did. I heard it. I heard that video. That audio tape is disturbing.
She's a snake. She needs. That is a desperate cry for cancel me, please. But it's not fair. She's a white woman and she's innocent and pretty. So she hasn't even lost her job as Mira, bruh. Warner Brothers won't even speak on it. Or Ezra Miller. You see that shit? Ezra Miller choked a chick out and threw her to the ground in a very whack-looking way. But still, it was an assault. But because Ezra Miller puts meat in his mouth, he's protected. Just like I predict black people will soon be protected.
Oh, I mean, right now they are. I mean, not right now is this it does feel very similar to
Black
Me
Lives
Too.
Matter.
It feels very similar to Me Too in that now, women were empowered. And I don't say this negatively. I'm just saying this is just how I saw it. When that movement happened, women were now then empowered to speak up And I think that was a beautiful, important thing, because there were too many women who felt like, well, I can't say anything about Louis C.K. even though I'm working for him. I'm uncomfortable. He'll fire me. I do believe there were uncomfortable situations where, like, I hope now that movement, if it did anything, was like, well, now I can speak up. At the same time, women took advantage of it. And women, once they got a little taste of power, some women decided to, you know what? Well, then I did this too. And all crimes were created equal. And then everyone who did a crime was punished at the same level as Harvey Weinstein, is what ended up happening. And so I do worry. I see it happening now. I see it with that person on Twitter who's going after anybody who said anything negative and racist, burning down the bridges of their lives. Like, that's hard to do to kids. Now, look, calling out racism is important, and people need to have those dialogues, but calling their school canceled, that is dark. That is some dark directions we're going down to, where I worry that's really going to be dangerous if Black Lives Matter and the movement here empowers people to say, you know what, F it, everyone's a racist. It's happening a lot now, Jody. You and I have had this argument a lot, but it's happening now all the time. If you have any sort of conversation about this topic that's not in full agreement, I'm a racist. And it's like, look, I support it wholeheartedly. I'm here. I'm an ally. At the same time, like, I like dialogue. I like to make sure I understand facts and the data. And if you ever try to do research to a topic to certain people, they will call you a white supremacist right out the gate. I had someone do it to me the other day. So it's a scary place.
You'll look like one, that's for sure. That don't mean you are one, but you will look like one. If we're talking about slavery, we're talking about equal rights, civil rights, stuff that is documented history. You don't argue against it. You see it for what it is.
Right. So no, I'm not. No one's doing that.
How do you speak out against it?
No, I'm not doing that. That's not that. But exactly. But see, that's where we go. That's where it turns to. So it's like, I'm against. Slavery didn't happen. Of course, that's not what it's about.
Some people are saying that though.
Sure.
So no, not slavery didn't happen. Some people are saying that you guys are doing great from where you were 400 years ago. You're living the American. Bro, it's
no, it's interesting. I'll say that I don't want to call the person out, but I had a friend who I was worried. His rhetoric was scaring me, and because we've talked about, and I was texting you the other day, because I've been paying more attention. I've been listening, and I realized, like, I don't believe that person's a racist, but then I realized, like, I don't think they realize that the rhetoric they're saying actually is racist, and then I'm like, well, crap. I'm educating this person. I'm warning them. I'm saying them why you don't say these things. And they're getting more and more frustrated. And then I'm like, at the end of the day, I was like, this was a white person. I'm like, why are you so angry? You do know this isn't about you right now, right? Like, the whole point of this is to, like, step back, listen, and stand in solidarity with Black lives, because they've been, looked down upon and treated differently for decades, for generations. Like, it's not about you right now. I don't understand why you're angry. They have every right to be angry. You don't. It's not about you. And, I see now it's happening a lot. And I think that's the scary part right now, is we're potentially at a new race war, because...
Can I assume that you were talking to one of your white friends and having this conversation, his neo-Nazi racism was exposed to you, and you saw the light that he was an absolute racist?
See, but right then it's like, it's a problem of just like, I don't want to... I think that label is incredibly hurtful and dangerous for me.
What scared you? What scared you?
No, but I don't like the term. I do think the term racist, white supremacist is being thrown out way too easily right now, and I do think that is a problem. It's a scary direction that we're going to, where
but you're talking about
I shouldn't even have this conversation with you, Jody, because someone will label me something because I'm having the conversation with you. That's why it's dangerous for me. Because it's like, I'm not a racist, but I do believe a lot of people have, deep-seated...
It's tough, Andy. You just got to put that chest out, bro, and drop your cock, bro. I go against the Snyder cult. I went against gay overpower.
What I was going to admit, though...
because it ain't right, bro.
What I was going to admit, though, is I think there is... I'm seeing it now. Like, there is just... I think there's societal racism that exists that I think more people need to be... But it's like in littler ways that I think a lot of people, especially white people, don't realize it. And so like that's the thing. It's like, to me, it's like, you got to have the dialogue and you got to push, but you can't just jump to saying you're racist, because as soon as you tell a white person they're a racist, because I'm doing it now, you can't, they instantly block, defense, chest out. F you, what are you talking about? No, I'm not. They're on the defense. And you can't change or do anything if they do that. And so what my point being, you can go there and say F it, but that's the problem. I don't believe he really is against, Andy, racist. Andy, I think there's a way to educate these people.
Andy, anyone that gets called a racist and gets really mad like that, something is there. You could call me whatever you want. If I know that I am not, I'm not gonna care, Andy. When a white person gets called a racist and they start whoa, it's because their inner something within them got exposed, and they feel a need to defend and get offended by it.
Dude,
if there is nothing there, you would feel nothing.
I'm listening. I hear what you're saying, but you'll get the same argument, and I don't use this argument, but hey, there's whites experience racism too. And I'm just like, no.
Sure, yeah, sure.
But I mean, I get it, but like, why? That's not a good fights tactic right now. Is what I'm from. But that's where.
Not, but they do.
That's where it comes from, right? And so they get frustrated, like, well, you're calling me racist? No, I'm not. I've grown up with. This is a friend. I'm quoting a friend. I grew up with blacks, and they treated me like shit my whole life. And I tried to get ingrained, blah blah blah. You know, like that's the thing. And so he's like, I'm not. You know, so that's it's a cultural and societal thing that requires, you know, honesty, opening up, and dialogue. And I think anybody who has an open dialogue, I treat them a little bit more than respect, especially if they open themselves up, etc. So I don't like jumping to the title, but I hear you. I agree. Whether I'm going to use a term on them, they need more education.
DC fanboy and an MCU fanboy, and I'm a Star Wars fanboy. I am all of these things depending on the type of video I make. None of that shit mean nothing to me, bro. If I was really a DC fanboy and someone came to my channel and said, you're a DC fanboy, I would be hurt and I would rage out at them because I feel that inside. I'm every type of everything negative on the internet, bro, depending on the video. If I do a Star Wars video wrecking Star Wars, I'm a freaking anti-Disney shill. If I do a Star Wars video praising Star Wars, I'm a freaking corporate conforming Disney shill fanboy. If I do an MCU video and I bash the MCU for a film I don't like, I'm a DC fanboy.
Can I be honest with you? Are you going to be mad at me? You are one of the most sensitive people I've ever met. A commenter will trigger you. A commenter will disrespect you, and you will lose your shit. No, it's the same thing. I don't give a shit about the commenters.
It's not the same thing.
When someone's hitting my character and they're wrong, and then I can't even engage with them, that does frustrate me. Not because of what the term they're labeling, but I don't like to be mislabeled. I don't like being labeled a rapist. I don't. It's very important to me, and it didn't happen. So I don't agree with you when someone hears a very harsh term, and they were like, what? That doesn't mean they are. I don't agree with that at all. I mean, I can, because you know.
Maybe I could help educate you a little bit here.
Please.
You grew up, I think it's a culture thing. You as a white person grew up not having to fight for things like a black person like me had to grow up, and for other black people.
What do you mean I didn't have to fight? I had to fight to get everything I did. I had to I had to work my ass off to get everything I did. So what does that mean?
So I'm talking about
everybody has the opportunity to get out of where they... Hold on. And this is to all races. Anybody can lift themselves up and do anything. You absolutely can. There are examples of it all over the world. So I do not. So I don't know where you're going with it, but I absolutely worked my butt off to get there.
That's not true.
And so I do believe anybody has the capability to go do that. Yeah, if you, I do.
That's not true.
I could probably do more if I wasn't.
What you just
if I wasn't as lazy.
That there is equality right now. That is a lie.
Dude. There are millions of stories of people who grew up. So tell me why that's not true. My point is some people aren't born with the characteristics to succeed. That's all people.
Or the opportunity. Blacks and whites are
Then why do a lot of people who don't have the opportunity of any race succeed?
How is it that you can say that?
Are you telling me that people who had no opportunity have never succeeded?
I am telling you that the black race and the Latino race and the white race do not have the same opportunity, Andy. That is false. That's the whole point of this movement that you still don't understand.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I agree.
You said everybody of any race.
I agree. It's hard.
No.
I think that's true. I agree. It's harder.
How is that true?
It is harder.
Okay.
Jody.
Jody.
It's harder. Sorry if I miss. But I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying. I do believe anybody can do anything. I do believe that.
I would have to work much harder.
Correct.
You because you're white.
Fair. So I'm glad you clarified. That's what I'm. But I'm saying if you wanted to work hard enough, you could do anything if you wanted to work hard enough. But I understand the amount of work it takes for a non-white. I get it.
How
that's
says
real.
Coming from you is like the rapist calling the rapee. You're not that hurt. You're in a advantageous position. Who are you to tell us if you work hard enough, you're sitting on a pedestal where it's easier for you? It's not a good look.
No. My point is, I'm trying to be inspirational because anyone can. There are amazing stories all across the globe and all races.
Yes, Barack Obama became president.
Yeah, it's all. But my point is like, I don't like this idea that we have to then just say, well, we can't because we're black. Like, I understand it's more challenging, but I don't know. I just think that's a defeatist attitude because yes, it's absolutely harder. But it's like, what I'm trying to say is like, I don't even mean for blacks. I mean for whites, for Latinos, anybody. It's like what we gotta try to succeed. And I do think now, as people are noticing, people want people who are going to work hard and be smart and do it as best they can do, and give opportunities to those people.
The job at Target. Better qualified.
Dude, the guy from Reddit just quit to give more. My point is, opportunities are starting to happen. We all have to work harder. That's the reality. You don't agree with that?
No.
You don't think opportunities are starting to happen through this movement? Really?
I hope some will, but we haven't seen results yet. We're in the mourning phase right now. We haven't seen anything change yet. We're hoping for it, and I hope for it still, but we haven't seen anything yet, brother. Nothing.
I mean,
we've seen a couple officers get fired because they got caught on camera. We've seen some officers get suspended. We haven't seen results yet. We're hoping for results.
Dude, they disbanded the police department in Minneapolis. That was huge, man.
Well, last time I checked, the mayor said, I ain't doing it, and they booed him out of the freaking city. That's the last thing I saw.
But didn't they? But I'm saying these are wins. They're not enough. We need more.
I saw him say to the whole town, I ain't disbanding shit. And they shamed him out of there. How you gonna disband a police department? Where's the rule and law and order at? That's not what we want. Who wants that? No police? Who are you gonna call when someone's trying to kill you? That is the opposite.
But no, but so what am I supposed to say? Oh, everything's just shit. There's no positivity. How is that inspirational to try and use this movement in a positive light?
Maybe it's like, unless you experience it, you'll never understand.
So what am I supposed to say? Because I'm trying to look at positives.
You're not supposed to say anything.
I'm trying to see positives. I'm trying to see positives so we know what we're supposed to do more of.
It's clear you're not ready to say anything. You need to take more listening in before you speak. Because what you're saying still doesn't sound right. You need to listen more. Take some more listening, listen more, and then listen more after that. And then say something, and then we'll let you know if you're getting better or not.
Okay, because so all white people should stop talking.
Wrecking my shit.
So I should stop talking about this topic is the lesson. That's not going to go over. Look, I'm happy to do that, but that's not going to go over well with the rest of the country. That's not going to make change.
Andy? I wish I was your Kramer. I wish you were Jerry Seinfeld and I was your next door neighbor, so I could crash in your door every day, teaching you the ways, my brother. You need somebody over there.
I'm listening. I don't understand what ways I'm not. I don't understand what ways I'm missing.
Bro, when you say we all need to work harder, we all could be the same thing. We just need to work harder, and that's kind of okay to you. That's not okay. That's just not okay. Period. That's wrong. We need to be treated equally, bro.
But I wasn't speaking to you directly or even to blacks. That's what's so frustrating. See, it's like, blacks, but see, when we have a dialogue, that's that right there to me is like the problem. It's instantly I have to take the L. I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm ignorant. And to be honest, I am. I haven't denied that once. But what's frustrating is like the dialogue we have is sort of like accusatory. Like
much better to be ignorant than stupid. You are not stupid. You're just ignorant, and ignorance can be cured.
So that's my point of like it's like I can handle that, but others can't. You know what I'm saying? And so because I just talk to try to learn, and then I listen and I to you. We do it, but it's like what all my point was like. It comes back to the calling people racist. Like that doesn't help. It doesn't help. Because
Andy,
I can handle it.
I believe you're a racist.
No, well, thank you. But I'm just,
you're a racist.
I might.
But based off what I've heard, if you were a stranger and that shit that you said in the last 15 minutes, I would call you a racist. I would think you're racist.
But see, that to me is that what I'm trying to get at, and it's interesting because we're talking about these cases. That's what we're talking about today, and labeling people racist. That's the problem, right? Because people are being labeled racist for being ignorant, like I just was. And that's scary.
But
right?
Here's the difference, and that is scary. Ignorant people shouldn't speak. That's the problem. They're not being ignorant. They're not being attacked for being ignorant. I'm ignorant in a lot of things. when you're ignorant and you speak ignorance, that's when it becomes a problem. Educate yourself until you within understand. You actually feel and understand for the other side. Thinking for the other side, you're more cerebral. You don't really feel it yet. And when you feel it and you start to feel it in your heart, then you can start to speak on it. That's what I think.
Got it. So let's continue talking about these stories.
Oh, by the way, this is fire. Me and Andy could do this all day long, and I haven't lost a single ounce of respect for the man. This is what it's all about, bro.
Right.
We have Change Our Minds is about.
That's what, and yeah, it's like, and it puts me. You got to understand, like, it puts me in a weird spot because it's like, guys, this is a show where I'm supposed to talk. It's my show where Jody and I talk and debate. Yeah. And so it's like, it is frustrating where it's like
this about my. You call me sensitive. When people come and they disrespect me, I don't play that. That's how I talk about how I was raised. I was raised in the streets, in poverty. When people come to you, it's because they want your shit. And people are always trying to get at you. And I've raised up there to defend myself when people attack me. So when this piece of shit, Jose Sargano, in your chat, dang, Andy, you're going to be canceled again by your, quote, friends. You piece of shit. Get the freak out of here, Jose. That's what I'm talking about. You're a freaking coward. That's all you're trying to do is start drama from this shit. You are not helping. You need to be up out of here. If you was on Jody's corner, you would have been banned 5 times over for saying some shit. Trying to cause a divide.
To call out another one.
Cause a freaking divide. Well, you're a piece of shit.
But anyway, there was a lot of people telling me that I was being, calling me names too. But it is what it is. I just lost the quote. AJ said something. He's trying to say it for me as well. Hold on, I just lost it. Where he's saying, I just read that because I ignore the haters. But where did it go? Sorry. AJ was saying, I understand, Andy. Instead of closing the door and calling someone racist, they should be taught instead. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. When you call someone a racist, defense is up, our conversation over, it doesn't go anywhere. That's all I was trying to get at. And so it's like, and that to me is where we should be focusing on, because I am ignorant to a lot of these topics, and I'm trying to be positive in an issue that you're getting offended by when I'm not meaning any offense by what I'm trying to say.
I'm not offended at all.
But my point is, I make people in chat. But my point is, like, that is the only thing I do want to was trying to say, and the reason this all came up is I think, it's dangerous to label someone, cancel someone these terms based off these tweets, because we don't know the intent. And yes, we can assume there's racism intent. You've done that. You're implying, based off of all the ones you've read about Hartley, I can't remember his freaking name, Hartley, that do you think he's racist? Is what I'm getting back to. Do you think he's a racist?
No, I don't think he is. Let me stomp on this Roach real quick in your chat. Captain Roach, you did call Andy a racist for the last 15 minutes. Is that what you got, you retarded motherfucker? In Joe's defense, you called him a racist for Andy's last 15 minutes. Did I call you a racist?
No.
The freak out of here, you piece of shit. Another hating, thick-skulled, no comprehension having people, bro. When you speak out bullshit and lies to try to make and cause dismay, you are trash. That's what I'm against. The disrespect.
Hold on. Let me, for the people, because there are people defending me in the chat saying that you're coming after me. Jody's not coming after me, guys.
What the freak is wrong with you?
But see, Jody, this is the problem, right? We're all both experiencing it, and I'm seeing it. And I can see it from their perspective. When you tell me to shut up and not talk, I'm sure that upsets them, right? Because it's like, well, he's talking. And so but the reality is Jody's right in that I don't know enough about this topic or what it's like. And I don't know. I'm talking and trying to say things that I haven't learned enough because I haven't experienced it.
It's like me talking about Freddy Krueger and I only seen like half the movie.
He's right. But he also is being fair and knows it's not what I meant. He knows I'm not trying to have a malicious intent here. But when I said it, I understand why it was taken when I said you have to work harder. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it to imply that doesn't mean that you guys, other races aren't already working harder. That is an ignorant statement to make, just because obviously it's a million times harder. I do genuinely believe that. But I do still believe, like, we all need to be more positive in our life. I do constantly, because I look down on myself still. Everybody needs to try to be more positive, and I hope this movement inspires the world to do more steps like the guy in Reddit did.
So too.
That's my point. I think if we stay positive and work hard, that is the goal to move forward instead of doing hating and just fighting and naming racists.
I swear this chat is so trash.
That is
every time I come over here, it's a problem. I swear, Andy. When you come to Jody's Corner, you get nothing but love. There is hate, vitriol, and a whole bunch of bigots over here on Popcorn Planet. I'm glad you made that other channel. I can't wait.
Well, that channel's going to be just movie. In fact, we're going to do a stream there at some point. I need your help. We're going to go over there, and people. There's not hate
coming over here.
There's not going to be chats because it's going to be just movie stuff. No politics and stuff. Movie World. I'll put the link down below if somebody can find it for me. K-Dots. Look, Jody, you're black. I'm white. That's what happens. When I was canceled.
Am I invited to Movie World? We could talk just movies.
Yes, absolutely. Bro, as long as you promise not to yell or do it. Exactly. It is like. It is the chill.
Jody's Corner family to leave Popcorn Planet and join Movie World when it happens.
Yeah. Now, don't leave yet. I need your support here still. But yes, when we go there, we'll do it. Because I'm going to do more live chats still here, but I'm going to do more fun stuff. Look, when I got pushed away, liberals turned away. Conservatives did. So I have a lot of conservatives, and that's the problem. I still have liberals too. It's a very mixed, what is that? Base of people. And yes, there are some people in there that, have strong opinions like you do, but on the other side. And that's where a lot of this conflict comes from.
The other side is some of the shit just isn't common sense. They're not listening. They don't hear shit. It's like I'm saying something else up here or some shit. It's the common sense is the problem. I encourage disagreement, but when you say bullshit with no common sense, it just wrecks my mind. Like what?
So you're saying, but you agree he's not racist?
I don't think I wouldn't. I think some of the things he said were sexist. I think some of the things he said were racist, but I don't know enough. I don't know him to call him a racist. I wouldn't say so based off what I saw here. No.
Okay. So there we well, and I do you think he should have been fired? You already said no. I think
I'm cool with him. If it was me heading it up, I would like counsel him. I would make him like sign up for one of those classes where you got to get educated a little bit on the issues of his ways. And then I would,
take
put
6
him
months
on probation.
Sabbatical, exactly. Like maybe he shows up in season 8.
Yeah. But anything else you do from now on, you're out of there, Jack. I'll let him know. But I would keep him.
I agree. I think that's there's a way that these studios could be doing this better, but CW wanted to make a point of this. And the more I think about it, the more I'm upset, especially because they're not following through with everybody else. If the studio, Warner Brothers, is going to do this, then Amber Heard needs to be out, Ezra Miller needs to be out. You need full accountability. Everybody needs to sort of, if they say offensive things or abuse people, then it's the same statement. Otherwise, to me, it's completely hypocritical. Q reviews. Thank you. Be excellent to each other. I love that. That is the positive today. I love. This was our tense topic, but thank you, Q reviews, for the support and be excellent to each other. I love that trailer, by the way. I'm so excited for Bill and Ted. I think that's exactly what the world needs right now is some fun Bill and Ted. Also, I got some other chats here. I want to make sure I went through. Why aren't they here? Come on, they're supposed to be here. Super chats. Where'd they go? So Michael, how about stop voting for the same people for 30 years who promise change? Don't disagree with that. Thank you for the support, Michael. Mackenzie, what with all that's going on, Cinestate has their skeletons exposed, dirty laundry everywhere. Yes, it's interesting. I actually saw something John Campea did today, which I think was pretty ballsy of him. I'm happy to fill you in if you want to know about it. Michael, if you woke, thank you, Michael. If you woke, I hope you go broke. LOL. It seems to be happening. And then we had Tony at the beginning. Thank you, Tony, for that $10. How come Warner Brothers didn't know about the tweets when they fired the guy? They shouldn't be allowed to fire him for tweets 9 years old before he got hired. Also, why are you playing pick and choose, bro? Yeah, so we agree on that. And good point Tony makes in that he's right. Why? It's very easy to look up people's past if that's important for you as an organization, right? So it's like if you want to make sure you don't go down this direction again, hire someone to go through their social media and make it. It's not that hard to do. You look up keywords on someone's Twitter to make sure they don't exist, and then at least you did your due diligence, or you had a conversation to be prepared for it. The fact that they aren't doing that on these shows, I think it's going to start happening more and more. But it's a very easy thing to fix, and I think it's unfair that they don't do that and then they just throw you under the bus afterwards. So good point. They had every opportunity to do it before. Myra, thank you, Myra. Myra's daughter is graduating tomorrow or Thursday, so we're gonna kind of congratulate her officially then. But good to see you, Myra. I agree with Jody. Change is not disbanding the police, but change is more training, having yearly psych evaluations, database for misconduct, outside party reviewing cases, disbanding union. Yeah, I agree. All my point was the fact that Ms. Minneapolis was doing that was telling. That's like,
insane.
Well, damn,
that is insanity.
Stuff's changing. But yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes. But they're clearly trying to listen and do something. It doesn't feel like it's the wisest move. But hey, where else are you going to expect a revolution than in Minneapolis?
It's the equivalent of
Ashley. Thank you, Ashley.
Just for showing support.
Appreciate that, Ashley. Thank you for the support.
Ashley came through for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Through
Shout
I guess
to my girl,
Streamlabs.
Ashley, man.
Thank you for showing support. It's good. Yeah, I could use it today. It's feeling crap. It's always when you put yourself out there and talk about things. But you're right. You got to make sure you know what you're talking about before you say it.
Andy, check your Cash App, player. Knock Shadow with the $20.
Chat should
be respectful to the guests.
Come on, chat. We should be respectful to guests. It's true. Please be respectful to guests.
Shadow.
I did not feel like I was threatened. I guess you're trying to defend me. Thank you for defending me. But yeah, let's be nice to each other. No need to call out Jody when he's on my channel. You can say it civilly if you have a problem. But Lewis, I see his message. Epic stream. Thank you, Lewis. All right, so what was I going to say? Let's move on to the next one. The next one's definitely a bit more...
get hot.
Whoa, what's this? Fox News. Yeah, the Fox News theme. All right, so Mark Wahlberg, okay? He did a tribute to George Floyd, then got slammed in his Instagram. The murder of George Floyd is heartbreaking. We must all work together to fix this problem. I'm praying for us all. God bless. Black Lives Matter. And then his remember those rocks you threw at little black girls? This ain't genuine. Just delete it. Shame on you after what you've done. You're posting this. Haven't you committed multiple hate crimes that you wanted to get pardoned for? You should be in jail. You should not be a celebrity. I can't believe I watched and paid for your work. Never, never, never again. You have committed hate crimes, Mark, and have tried to expunge them from your record. No one will ever forget. So, guys, Jody, do you know about the backstory of Mark Wahlberg?
I didn't know about the throwing the rocks at black girls and shit.
Let's get your opinion on him before we go down this wormhole. What are your thoughts on Mark Wahlberg, Jody? Tell me honestly,
Mark
before
Wahlberg,
I said anything, what do you think of Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg is a douchebag. He's one of those type of classic cool guy douches from Boston. And people in Boston, a lot of people who are racist come out of Boston. The Boston way, baby.
Come on, not everyone from Boston's a racist, but okay, keep going.
Not all Bostoninos are racist, but every time I see some shit in Boston, shit goes down. I just read a news article about a retired baseball player in the MLB. He had a no trade clause, Andy. Do you know the one thing that was the no trade clause?
What?
He could not, under any circumstances, be traded to Boston, because he heard the most N-words from children and fans that he ever heard in his life in any other place in the country. Once I read that, I said, yep, makes lots of sense. So listen, do I believe that Marky Mark probably came up with some racist parents or an uncle or some shit that showed him a swastika? Maybe. I like Mark Wahlberg as an actor, bro. He was Bobby, man, on Four Brothers, man. I love him, man, and that shit, bro. They did some... Look, I think he's all right. Marky Mark, he seems cool to me. I don't dislike him. I think he's all right. I think he's cool. I like the certain movies he's in, some I don't. I like it when he was digging into that tough bad boy Boston thing, but kind of softened up over time. But overall, I think Mark Wahlberg is cool.
Okay, good. I'm glad we have that on a record before we go down this path, because Mark Wahlberg does not want anyone going down this path. He's doing everything he can, his reps are, to make sure the story gets buried. And it is what it is. We should all at least know what people are talking about. At the same time, I don't like canceling people, but we got to talk about this because this is what the topic is. Should we be doing this? I don't know. I'm still torn on this, but let's talk about it. So anyway, what's interesting about this story most is he's been changing his Wikipedia. So if you go down there now, now it says legal issues. Because Wikipedia is a place you can edit it. People can edit and change what's on Wikipedia. But previously on Mark Wahlberg's Wikipedia, it used to say hate crimes. And then someone adjusted it to racial incidents. And now it's somehow magically become legal issues. which is very interesting. That's clearly a PR, someone's going down there trying to change things. And he's been getting flack for trying to change stuff. But here are the legal issues. So when he was 15, mind you, he was 15 years old. He and 3 friends chased after 3 black children while yelling, "Kill the N-word, kill the N-word," and threw rocks at them. So when he was 15, he did that. That was 1986. The next day, he and others followed a group of mostly black 4th graders and taking a field trip on a beach, yelled racial epithets at them, threw rocks at them, and summoned other white males who joined in the harassment. In 1986, a civil action was filed against Wahlberg for violating the civil rights of his victims, and the case was settled the next month. So then later in 1988, and while he was 17, he assaulted a middle-aged Vietnamese man on the street, calling him a Vietnam effing S and knocking him unconscious with a large wooden stick. Wahlberg attacked a second Vietnamese man later that day, punching him in the eye. When Wahlberg was arrested and returned to the scene for the first assault, he told police officers, "I'll tell you now, that's the MFer whose head I split open." Investigators also noted that Wahlberg made numerous unsolicited racial statements about GOKS and slant-eyed things, and Wahlberg was charged with attempted murder, pleaded guilty to felony assault, and was sentenced to 2 years in jail, but served only 45 days of his sentence. Wahlberg believed he had left the second victim permanently blind in one eye, though apparently that he lost eye in the Vietnam War while serving in the Vietnam Army, so he wasn't blind. He then, in 1992, fractured the jawline of a neighbor, Robert, in an attack. Court documents state that Wahlberg, without provocation or cause, viciously and repeatedly kicked Korean in the face, while another man, Derek, held the victim on the ground. Wahlberg's attorney claimed that Wahlberg and McCall, who is black, were provoked after McCall was called a racial slur by Korean. So wait, Korean in the face, while another man, McCall, was black. Oh, so he and a black friend were called a racial slur by the person he attacked. Oh, no. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Wahlberg kicked Crayon in the face. Okay, so he's saying this guy, I don't know if he's black or white, but he said a racial slur to his black friend, McCall. So we're full, all the details are there, so I can't tell what's going on there. But he beat up somebody. But he's with a black person, and apparently he's saying his black friend was called a racial slur by the guy. That's why he beat him up. Okay. So Wahlberg said it's all there, guys. I'm reading it in case somebody's 2006, Wahlberg said the right thing to do would be to meet with Trin and make amends, though he had not done so. In 2016, while requesting a pardon for his conviction of the assault, Wahlberg said he met with Trin and apologized for those horrific acts. Trin released a statement forgiving Wahlberg. In 2014, Wahlberg applied for a pardon for his convictions. His pardon endangered, blah, 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 blah. And so that raised difficult issues with the arguments on both sides for being... So when he tried to pardon it, and one of the children was opposed to the pardon, saying, "A racist will always be a racist." And then in 2018, he regretted his attempt to attain the pardon, and his pardon was closed after he failed to answer requests, and he let it go because he realized he didn't... Since one of the people was upset, he dropped it. So... That's all the background on Mark Wahlberg, which is pretty intense. And so, Jody, thoughts? Does this change your opinion of Mark Wahlberg?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay, so share. How so? Are you canceling Mark Wahlberg?
A lot of this stuff is tough to read, man. Chasing black girls, encouraging other white men to beat up and throw rocks and assault black people, going to jail. Only doing 45 days because he's white, still going on these rampages. He's definitely a racist. That's for sure. Now, is he a racist today when you hate something so much? At first, when I heard it was just, this is what I was going to say, because I knew about the G remark about the Orientals and the Asians, the racist slurs against Orientals and Vietnamese people, and he bashed his head in and stuff like that. I was like, dang, he is racist against them. I don't think that he's racist against. Just because you don't like this race don't mean you don't like all races. So I thought maybe he's cool with doing it with black people. But then I hear the story about the black and more of it being about black people. Clearly he's a racist man. Now, is he a racist man in 2020? That's in the air. Look, I'm of the mindset, bro, like those acts.
I mean, that was 40 years ago. It's a long time. He's clearly with God now, whether he means it or not.
40 years ago? He's 49 years old.
86 to 2020. So that's Sorry, 34 years? 36 years? I'm bad with math. It was a long time ago. He was...
See, my
problem...
also had an incident in 1992, you said, though.
Not racial. That one was...
it was racial. He beat a black man up.
Well, no, he beat up a guy. It didn't say whether he was black. He might be, but he was beating up his friend. His friend was called a racial... Black. His black friend was called a racial slur, and that prompted his beat up. So I didn't see him making that racial. If anything, he's saying... I believe
he had a black friend and beat up another black man.
Right, because the black man or somebody called him a racial slur.
Right.
So my point is, it's sort of what's the context? He's a violent guy. He clearly was in Boston, etc. The second one with the Vietnamese guy, it was during a robbery. Look, I mean, this one's hard for me, and that's why I was listening to you. But it's like, look, prison reform's real. Like people do, and granted, I agree. He should do more time. He should also make a better statement. He needs to go through more accountability than I can see. I'm Googling, like, did he even apologize? That stuff bothers me, to be honest. But at the same time, like, 30 years, some prison time, growing up in a neighborhood. I do think a person can change, but he did. The pardoning is not a good look.
He tried to cover it up, bro, and that's not a good look to me. Like, it means you're trying to hide your past because you're ashamed of it, or maybe you're not even ashamed of it. You just don't want people to see this about you, bro. It's shady tactics, in my opinion. So, and this is in 2018. So he's lucky, bro. You bashed a man's head in and almost left him blind with a racial hate crime, and you only got 45 days, dog. That shit don't exist, bro. That don't exist out here. What type of life is that? That's what I'm talking about with the social injustice. That's systemic bias and injustice, bro.
Does it matter that he was 17? I'm asking.
He was a
kid. Is that why it made?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Would that be the same, or do kids, at least, of all of races, do kids get? I don't know. I'm asking because there's sometimes there are minor laws.
I did
are there
3 months? I did 3 months in juvenile hall for vandalism, bro, and I was 12. I did 3 months in juvenile hall for breaking a window. I was the youngest person in CD at Eastlake, freaking juvenile hall, bro. I was 12. I was the second youngest person in there. I did 3 months for breaking a window. 90 days. I did twice as much time, and this nigga bashed in a Chinaman's head and almost left them blind? What type of shit is that? You motherfucker. You only got 45 days, and here you are 25 years later trying to cover that up? You should be thanking the Lord above and be happy that you only got 45 days for almost killing a man. And now you're trying to cover that up like that wasn't enough for you? Break this motherfucker, man. Yeah,
no, it's valid. You're right. He wasn't trying to cover. Just so I want to make sure I'm not sued by Mark Wahlberg. So that's why I'm making sure I have my facts here. I don't want to be sued for slander. He's rich. He was trying to get the first account pardoned, not the Vietnamese case. The Vietnamese man has accepted his apology. Just so Mark, because I don't have him here to defend himself, it is what it is. But the Vietnamese man has apologized. Trin apologized for those horrific acts and released a public statement forgiving Wahlberg. So that's where he stands on that. And then he was trying to get this pardon conviction. I guess it was for all the. I guess he didn't. I guess maybe I am reading this wrong. Sorry, he was maybe. This Wikipedia is wrong. So someone if knows better. I'm curious if he was only trying to, because it says here he was trying to get the first one with the girls, which was terrible. And that's when he was 15.
It says in 2014 he applied for a pardon for his convictions.
Yeah, so I guess that could mean both. Yes, all right. So I just want to make sure we have the facts before we're shitting on him. Yeah, look, I agree with you. It's not a good look. This is not a good look. It's a really, and he needs to do better at addressing it. Especially if he's gonna. It's like, and it's so stupid. Why are you coming out saying Black Lives Matter, George? Like, it's so stupid. Like
his image, bro.
But it's exactly what you said. It's exactly what you said. If this ignorance, just like don't talk about stuff you don't know. Shut up. For him to come on and do that in an Instagram post, it just shows he's clueless right now, because these are serious. These are not even accusations. Serious crimes he's done that he needs to account for. And look, I do think he might have a. It's been a long time. He's in with God, whatever. He might be a new man. He might be a changed man. But we need to see it, right? Especially right now as the country's grieving and stuff. Yeah. Like this is not good. So long story on Mark Wahlberg. Disappointed, obviously. It sounds like you've now lost more respect now that you've actually dug deeper. And is there something he can do to, in your mind, to do better?
Look, make better movies. I'm still gonna watch his movie. Look, I separate the actor from the man and everything. Like I could do that. Like Kramer's still the GOAT.
So he shouldn't be pulled out of movies. That's interesting. So you're not canceling him,
bro. If we got rid of every racist in Hollywood, they'll be like at 30% capacity. Like until some other people, I would say, don't give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to getting a role. That's what I would say. You know, he has to really earn that shit and really show that he's the best candidate for it to even be considered. That's what I would say. But I think that his privilege should be diminished. I think he needs to be on the same level as everyone else, in my opinion. You know, if that means you're not getting those roles because you were white from Boston and a lot of people who hired you know about your past, I'm pretty sure he's probably gotten some jobs because they know about his past. I'm pretty sure he was hired by a Hollywood producer who also hates niggas too. And they know that he bashed in some freaking people, and he looked at Mark Wahlberg and says, I like your candor. I like your kind, Mark. You're going to get this job. I'm pretty sure he's gotten work because they know about his personal past. But now that should be over with. And now we'll see what happens from this point on. Personally, you know, I disrespect him as a man. You know, I don't like him anymore. But that's not going to change. I'm not going to not watch a Mark Wahlberg movie. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, I'm boycotting your movies, man. Freak you. Bro, you can't just go around just blind. I don't think I think he should be punished. But it was a long time ago, and he's kind of getting called out for saying something when he shouldn't have said. Like, bro, shut up. Why are you even talking right now? All that shit you did, Mark. All that shit you done did, bro. You need to sit yourself in the corner somewhere and be quiet.
Well,
so should he get canceled? No, I don't think so.
See, but I disagree. He should be speaking up more in apologies and listening and like making a point of like, I've been there.
Well, I agree with that.
Like he should speak up even more and really address it all. That to me is he's not. He's trying to avoid it, but then he's gonna be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, right? We're all good. Cool. I'm gonna go back to my mansion. Like that. It's so tone deaf that it's incredibly stupid. Let me read some of these chats. Thank you guys who've been sending in there. MC Mastermind 007, thank you. You should look into defunding, demantling it if it isn't eliminating the police. It's lowering their budget and moving the funds to social services in the community. Police would still be very present. Yes, look, I don't know how you fix the police departments, but we need to do something. I'm glad there's serious change happening. And I've seen some really good police officers out there leading meetings talking about how we rely on police too much to do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be figured out. And I do respect the police. There are a lot of good police officers out there too. We got to make sure that we're kicking out the bad ones, and we're giving the good ones opportunities to really, do it correctly. So yeah, look, thank you for the support. Yeah, there's a lot of things we're going to be, I hope, paying attention to make sure that goes the right direction. Myra, thank you, Myra. It feels like everyone is getting on the bandwagon like people did during Me Too movement. We've all said stupid, ignorant things when we were young. It's current action we hold people to. Amen. That's why I don't like this person who's out there digging up every little kid's thing. I mean, look,
this is the next wave.
It's interesting, but yeah, we're now empowering. Look, I found it. I don't like that guy. Let me see if he's ever said anything on Twitter. That is that's not cool. And Myra, it's because his brother was in New Kids on the Block. Yeah, that's probably that's why we all. That's definitely what.
I think that he shouldn't have just. If he apologized, a lot of people would look into it even more. So he has to deflect to protect himself. Staying quiet is the best defense.
And Ashley, again, thank you for that donation through Streamlabs. All right, appreciate you, Ashley. All right, so now we got the third. And then if you guys want to pivot this conversation or add anything, now's your chance. I'll go through them after this end of this next topic. Here we go. So Jimmy Fallon doing blackface. Jody, what do you think of Jimmy Fallon before we even get to the story?
I love me some Jimmy Fallon, man.
Really?
I like
him a lot. That surprises me. Why?
Because he's funny. He has fun on his show. He seems like a fun-loving guy. He's always laughing. And I met him. He's really nice in person. Huh. Plus, he was friends with Kobe Bryant. Shout out to him.
I feel like he's just a fraud. I feel like he laughs at his own jokes too much. He just wants to be famous. Sure, he's nice. I mean,
he's famous.
He's nice like Ellen's nice. But
I love Ellen too.
Ellen, man, I will dislike Ellen more these days. She seems like she's just a mean, unhappy person who's just in her ivory tower, doesn't care about people below her. There's a lot of stories out there about her. But Jimmy Fallon, I don't know. I don't like that he laughs his own jokes. I guess he doesn't like bother me. I just don't think he's the funniest. By all the late night hosts, he's the last one I'll watch. I think he steals a lot of YouTube's bits, and he's not very original. And he's very like all about himself. But
those games that he plays are awesome. This original, he took the late night show further than Leno ever did with the games,
don't
the
get me
trivia,
started on
the
Leno.
sing-along songs. A lot of good. He elevated that show. In my opinion, he elevated the Tonight Show to something more than just boring chit chat. Which is what Leno did. He did boring chat talk.
All right. I'll give him. I don't like Leno, so I'll give you that. He's better than Leno.
He elevated it then.
That's not. No. Well, Johnny Carson is the best.
And you talk about people who laugh at their own jokes, bruh. Leno.
Oh. In his denim, I can't stand Leno.
Bruh.
What he did to Conan, I'll never forgive it. What a scumbag. I love Conan. I've met Conan is just such a pro. And genuinely funny. I just don't feel like if you put Jimmy Fallon and Conan next to each other, Conan will destroy him because Conan's actually smart and funny. Jimmy's likable. Jimmy's likable and he's Coke.
Yeah.
But like Conan is like, a independent brewed Coke that you're just like, damn, that's, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm like, Jimmy, let's go to the club real quick and get some drinks and look at some titties. I'm not saying that to Conan.
Sure, fair. I'll give you that. He's safe.
Yeah.
He's like the safe big commercial. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So all right. So
he's like, yeah, okay, then, Jody, we're gonna go look at some titties, bro. All right.
So all right, we're in the same. We found a good place to be with Jimmy. I don't hate him. I just don't like him. He's not one. I don't like him in that I don't choose to watch his show. I'd rather watch I think Colbert is also smarter, etc. But my point is, what do you think about this blackface thing? So he's out there. He had to apologize. Did you see the blackface skit?
No, I still haven't seen it to this day.
So there's a picture of him on screen doing Chris Rock in full makeup. I don't know if we can show the clip, but he's doing in the Chris Rock voice. I can't do it, but he's doing a Chris Rock voice. But they made him black. I gave him the tooth thing. Can you see it yet? Did it pop up on yours?
The delays. I'm still looking at sad face Jimmy. Man, he looks sad. He looked like he lost his mama. Oh, there he is.
So it was like a Regis and Kelly skit where he shows up as doing it. He just literally shows up and does Dave Chappelle. Not Dave Chappelle. Chris Rock. Sorry.
Blackface. This is beyond blackface.
He does a stand up. He does a stand up bit as Chris Rock, like doing the Chris Rock voice, and does it in that. So.
No. If Robert Downey Jr. could do it, why can't he?
So you're okay with it?
Was he good?
I mean, it's okay. His Chris Rock voice was okay.
This isn't really. That looks like a black man. That's not blackface to me. Blackface is the white. You see, it's a white man under there, and they just put that extra black paint on their face with the big red lips. That's not blackface.
I didn't want to say that.
That's a transformation.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah, this looks like makeup to me. This doesn't look like he's doing it.
That's a transformation. That's not blackface to me. That's Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder, bruh.
But he was doing. So I guess the problem, right? And you tell me if there's a problem, because I mean, it's not really this isn't my fight. I'm going to defend whatever you think.
Right.
But the argument, if I'm playing devil's advocate, is like, well, yeah, he's doing makeup. But the other argument would be, well, yeah, but get a Saturday Night Live, hire a black person because it's all white people. Like, come on. They didn't have a single white person on their staff. And then they didn't have anyone to play Obama. In fact, they had to get, what was his name? Fred Armisen. Is that in this story? Fred Armisen had to like play it because there was like literally no one else to play Obama because they had no black cast members. Like Saturday Night Live is notorious for not having anybody but white people. So I think that was part of the problem of just like, come on, Saturday Night Live, really? So now you're just going to like put your white actors in black makeup instead of hiring funny black comedians. Funny story, or not funny, but interesting story. Jordan Peele was up for it. Jordan Peele was supposed to come in and play Obama during this period. It was his dream to be on Saturday Night Live, and Mad TV wouldn't let him. They wouldn't cancel his contract. So Jordan Peele hates Mad TV with a passion because they took it away. But obviously he succeeded without it, and it actually was probably better for him. But so anyway, so you're saying you don't have a problem with this. So should he have apologized?
That's PC, bro. That's PC. Yeah, he has to apologize because he's white and PC.
And he's Jimmy Fallon. He's America's Jimmy Fallon. Of course he can.
Jimmy Fallon, bro. When RuPaul went on there to his show, I'll never forget it. He's scared. When RuPaul went on his show and he said, "Here's your book, Ru. This is the book about being the drag queen." Drag queen. His face was like, drag queen.
That was brilliant.
I'm the queen of drag. He's like, oh, thank God, dear God, merciful heaven.
I remember that. It was amazing.
He was scared about getting canceled. He was like, that's it. I'm canceled. I thought it was over. That's it. He's scared. That's why he's apologizing. Bro, let me tell you, I ain't going to speak for the people, but I'm going to speak for myself on this one. Personally, I don't have a problem with this. If you have a problem with this, you got a problem with Robert Downey Jr.'s Tropic Thunder. And man, God dang it, that was a black man in Tropic Thunder, bro. That was a black man in Tropic Thunder, man. That wasn't Robert Downey Jr. Frank, that's tight. I respect that art. That's art. And if I need to see the performance, was his impersonation good? Did he have the character? Did he really sell the art? Then yeah, just wow. Look, this is a transformation, bro. This is not blackface.
All right, I'm gonna try and
blackface is the black face, like the color blackface painted on big pink lips and shit. You know, making us look dumb and shit. No, that's a transformation, bro.
All right, I'm trying to find you the clip. Hold on. At this point, I'm not getting
drag queen.
That was amazing. I loved RuPaul doing
that.
Bruh,
I was like, oh my God, Jimmy Fallon. He's so scared.
He's like,
it was no games there.
What did I do?
Like he saw a ghost, bruh. Like Ashley, there she go. She said this is a non-issue. Shout out to my sister Ashley right there.
I think YouTube pulled it. I don't think you can get it on YouTube anymore. How crazy. Boy. So YouTube's like, no, this is racist. We can't have it on here.
So we said, I think it's fine, but he has to be conscious of that. Stuff like that is sensitive to people. Yeah, of course. That's why he's doing the PC stuff, apologizing. He's only apologizing because of the backlash, and he's white. Right, Robert Downey Jr. didn't apologize.
I don't know if you'll hear it, though.
Yeah, I probably won't.
Keep this cattle call moving.
Ha! You can't hear it?
Oh, hilarious. I got a surprise for you, Reed. Chris Rock's here. Chris Rock? Now we're talking. Where is he? Man, oh man, read this book. I've seen Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and guess what? Not a lot of black folks on the show. Right. Not a lot of black folks on the show. Know why? Because black folks don't like to answer questions. Oh, they want to be millionaires, but you got to ask that kind of questions like, in 1981, how many grams of crack did Rick James smoke when he recorded Super Freak? Oh! Regis, you think the only way to get a brother on the show is to name it Who Wants $50 Cash and a Pair of Pumas?
Chris, you're terrific. Would you consider teaming up with me?
Well, you kidding? I ain't waking up at 7 a.m. to fake life and some cruise ship stories.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
So you like that one?
Yeah, I like that. That was pretty good, bro.
I've heard better.
That's Jimmy Fallon.
That was Jimmy Fallon. What about Jimmy Kimmel doing Karl Malone? Have you seen this one?
Jimmy Kimmel doing
up in sky and say, what the hell going on up there? Do UFO live on other planet, phoning home like E.T.? Karl Malone read on TV about white people getting deducted by alien, sticking all kind of hell up their butt. And that's a damn thing. Now, Karl Malone never seen no flying saucer himself, but if he do, that's going to be a spooky time. That's why Karl Malone say government got to step up and give 102% to keeping them little green man off this here earth. Cause
is that one better? What do you guys think?
I'm watching it now. Is that where he's sitting at the poker table with him?
No, it's the next one on YouTube. It's him as Karl Malone.
Oh, the man show Karl Malone Aliens?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm watching it now.
Oh, you're watching on YouTube. I thought you were watching my YouTube feed.
I'm watching it on my own.
Oh, okay, got it. He's delayed. What do you guys think? He nailed the. He does that. That voice was pretty good.
Oh no.
Karl Malone's voice at least was pretty. I think a better Karl Malone voice.
Nah, all I hear is Jimmy. This is bad.
You mean like a bad impression?
Yeah, it's a bad impression.
Yeah, Jimmy's not good at Kimmel is not good at impressions. So is this one offend you more, or is it the same thing?
Yeah, this is more offensive. This is more offensive because it's less artistic. That nasty plastic looking skin. And look, I'm not offended by it, but it's more offensive. I could see it being more sensitive to people. So yeah,
this would have been
this is worse than Fallon.
If this is the Man Show, this would have been a while ago. I don't know the year that was, but it would have been probably 90s, right? Was it Man Show 90s?
This is
so the makeup wouldn't have been as good.
That in the basketball outfit and shit. with that terrible accent. You sound with the bad country accent. Almost sounds. You could layer this a lot of different ways. Almost sound like it's like, yes, boss. I'll come on, man. Like, I don't know. I personally think that one is way better than the other. Neither one of them should be probably canceled for this, because even though it looks cheap from Jimmy Kimmel, it's still an attempt at a transformation. It's not black.
It absolutely is. They're going for the transfer. I would agree. They're definitely going on a transformation. Going through some of the comments. Thank you guys for sending in as we wrap up here, and I'll be heading over to Discord. But
nada done, nada $20.
Where did I get? Sorry, thank you. I'm trying to
nada
thank them,
$20.
Going through my Streamlabs to see them all. Yes, thank you, Nada. I appreciate that. What's up, y'all? For the folks in the chat that keep comparing whiteface to blackface, stop. This historical context isn't the same, and there is no negative connotation inferred with whiteface. Minstrel shows, anyone? Amen. Gotcha. Definitely agree with you. It's not the same at all.
Bad thing.
I mean, White Chicks was bad just because it was bad and not funny.
Yeah. Well, White Chicks has some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But
they've done better. They've gotten
whiteface isn't a thing.
Black. I'm never offended by that. We shouldn't be. It's not nearly the same.
And
thank
also,
you,
White Chicks was more of a transformation instead of the white face.
It was. Michael Caratuo, thank you, Michael. RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. was great in Tropic Thunder. Agreed. Wasn't he? Didn't he get the Oscar nomination for that? Am I crazy?
He got nominated.
Yeah, he got nominated for it. That's crazy.
He got nominated.
All the white people are like,
Oscar
"Damn, he got away with that. You get an Oscar."
Yeah, he got nominated for an Oscar in the movie at the end and in real life for that.
That's true. Which was insane. That movie. He was on Joe Rogan asking, could that movie be done today? And they all said it couldn't.
Absolutely not.
I don't think. That part of it couldn't. That part of it couldn't.
No.
For sure. And even Simple Jack. Simple Jack wouldn't fly either.
Proof.
Yeah. Simple Jack was also offended. It's crazy. The BBC is now canceling, or removing shows from their catalogs because it's not safe anymore. I don't like that stuff.
Changing, Andy.
I don't like that stuff.
Bro.
You can't rewrite history. You can't rewrite it. You can't censor it, because then my problem. I don't know. Do you of that school? Like, what was it? Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn? Should they be censored and changed? I see that argument, but at the same time, should we be doing that with everything?
Changing? No, I don't think so. I think that the history should be the history. You should not alter or change history. You need to let the history be what it is. What if they try to change and alter slavery? Delete it from history. Come on, bro. That's the same thing that they're doing now. No, let that controversial stuff stick out, so then we could compare and contrast over time where we were and where we are.
Yeah, I'm glad we're agreeing on that. It's incredibly important for education and to learn history. Yes. You can't rewrite or forget history. That's what the point of history class is. So we all learn to not make similar mistakes and grow from them.
Yes.
It's scary where we're going, and that's the problem right now. It's just that's where it's like these cases that we talked about as we wrap up here. It's like, look, Hartley Sawyer is a perfect example of it's setting a precedent. It's setting a precedent where I don't know if those tweets were so bad that he should be canceled forever. Mark Wahlberg, when we go on to him, all right, that dude's done some hate. That is some hate in his heart when he was a kid. At the same time, it was 30 years ago. Has he actually taken accountability? Has he tried to grow? Doesn't seem like it. If he's trying to pardon himself, that's a bad look.
That's what.
So I'm with you on that one. So I'm glad you pointed that out. So each person is case by case. Jimmy Fallon, clearly some people are offended by it, but did he mean to be offensive? I don't think so. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel did either.
So, man. I think Jimmy cool, man. But plus, once I see the content, man, y'all leave Jimmy alone. I really think that he's a good guy. I really do.
Are they being mad at him in the comments?
No, I'm talking about the people who called for him to make this apology. People on social media who are on his head. Look, man, I think Jimmy's a good. There's sometimes you can just feel when a person isn't right. Sometimes you can just feel something about them. Everybody doesn't have that gauge. And I've learned that here from Popcorn Planet. I had to learn that maybe my feelings. I need to go more cerebral here and use evidence and facts. Otherwise, everything that I say is libelous as hearsay, which is fine. This is an opinion show. It's all about opinion. And you don't have to agree with my opinions, viewers right now watching me. Look, I'm not asking you to agree with them. You just hear them or tune out. It's the same as Andy. When he comes over to Jody's Corner, he's going to say his opinion. The difference is he's welcome like family on my channel. And I do not get that same courtesy here, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, well, I don't have a family like you do. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah.
I have some.
These motherfuckers are,
I have some, and I have yours who step in and out, and I have some who just aren't as dedicated as yours are. Like I have a lot of I do have fans, but they don't.
Right.
They don't come every time at the same time like yours do. You have said and you've earned that over time. I'm trying my best, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
Can't do it with these motherfuckers. Shout to
But you know,
Movie World.
I
Movie
hate
World coming
movie,
up.
Movie World.
Show.
Movie World's gonna be more like essays and conversations. It's just movie
Nice.
talk. Movie talk without the drama, but less live streams, more prepped, edited stuff. I would pre-tape stuff with you, but I do want to do a stream over there where we only talk movies. I need to do it soon, so we'll talk because I need to build up the subscribers and the watch time, as you know. So I'd be grateful all you guys coming over there. You can still.
There's
it's not
100,000
monetized,
subscribers. There's 110,000 subscribers on this channel right now. I challenge you to. I bet this is how much you guys don't give a freak about Andy. You freaking suckers, pieces of shit. He won't say it, but I will. You guys ain't shit. You don't support him. I guarantee you that he can't get 10,000 subscribers in the first 2 months. 110,000, you motherfuckers.
Oh, I already know that's true. Hugging the Cactus has.
You guys.
Hugging the Cactus has
9% of you
2,000
won't
something. Hugging the Cactus only has 200,000 something. 2,000 something.
Look at
It's
that.
definitely not going to happen,
Y'all ain't shit.
dude. Yeah, it's not.
You won't say it. I will. This is my how I see it. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all don't support him at all. Y'all don't give a freak about him. But that's why something new is going to start somewhere else, and this shit is going to be left for the bullshit that you guys are.
No, this will still have debates and stuff. They'll exit, but yeah,
This won't be me over this motherfucker. I'll tell you that. And it won't be me over this motherfucker. I don't want to be here. Freak you all. You guys made it uncomfortable for me. Freak you motherfuckers, bro. Freak you motherfuckers, bro. I don't give a freak.
Get it out, man. That's why it's polarizing here too. 'Cause
Y'all
then
deserve
there
me,
are
motherfuckers.
people I just think get angry when you do that because they're like, I haven't even said anything. He's screaming at me. But I will have your back. I will have your back.
World Planet.
I will have your, or I'll have your back to say, look, what was I say? I will have your back and saying, show some support. Just, hey, what's up? Just do it. And they do sometimes. I get it once in a while. I'll get someone who watches me like, look, I'm a big fan. I work. I don't always get to watch your times, but I've been checking. I wanted to send some love since I don't see the live shows. Thank you to all of you who do that, and you watch this later. It always does mean a lot when you send a little note, or I'll get a random donation sometimes to help fund things. So thank you to those who do it.
Oh, Ashley.
What I missed?
$50 in the motherfucking stream lab. Shout out to my girl. I'm not even
On
tight.
here?
Shout out to my girl Ashley.
Yeah, nice.
$50 donation from me. Thank you, Ashley.
Bravo. Nice
That's
work.
love. Tight.
That's how. See,
Thank you.
there you go. Good job.
One
Thank
girl
you,
right
Ashley,
there.
for showing him
Ashley,
some love when he's not feeling it over here. I'm glad someone is. And Tony Current, thank you. Love you, Jody, bro. Don't leave. There you go from Tony. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, thank
you,
Tony.
Tony, for
Shout out to
stepping
you,
up.
man.
And
Hey, just-
Here's your
hey.
chance, supporters that aren't
me over
Jody. Supporters that aren't Jody's fam. Here's your chance. Show it. Tony,
Curran, bro,
thank you for
cool.
stepping
Follow
up.
me over there to World Movie World. Just come over there, bro. I'll see you over there. All you other haters, stay here.
Yes, please stay. Please
Stay
stay here. Please stay here. Don't subscribe
See
to
me
over
over
there.
there.
Don't subscribe if you're not going to watch. I'm hoping they don't watch this long in the show, so they won't. Now they will, just to F with me. But thank you for that, Tony. Thank you, Ashley, for donating to Jody. Look. So thank you, Sir William. People up there, show
Sir
your
William.
members, everybody else. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to go over to Twitch to hang out for a bit. You can still hang out with us over there.